Welcome, everybody, to the first ever podcast for the Gulf Coast Gearheads. I am Jacob Spalding, one of the hosts.
I'm Josh Beal, the other host.
And today we have a kind of a little bit of a different stuff for you. This is something we've been thinking about for a while, starting this podcast. And what better time to start it than being locked in your house and running out of stuff to watch on Netflix? So here we are.
Practicing social distancing. Here we are recording separately, but still making this work for you guys and try to get our knowledge out there for you.
Yeah, just spreading the wealth in terms of knowledge here. So what we have first on the board is a little bit quick introduction of ourselves, so that way you can learn who we are and why our car opinions matter. Then next we have some current event stuff going on in the car industry, followed up by car buying advice stuff that Josh and I have experienced recently and working with people in dealerships. And then what we have is a little bit of a top 10 list of our favorite cars from the 2010s and across all segments, not just one particular segment. And then we'll have something that Josh and I really enjoy is watching, like the Mecum auto auctions or like the Barrett Jackson. I don't know if we're just weird guys and we like to watch that or if other people do, but we have some of the top 10 most expensive cars sold in 2019. And then we'll wrap it up with a little bit of some personal car stories for us. So then that way you can kind of experience what we've experienced in the recent car stuff with us this year. So without further ado, I'll let Josh go first, kind of give us a rundown who you are and why you matter.
So Josh here, I've been working in the car industry for the last 2.5 years or so, and I've also loved cars since I was a young kid. My dad always loved having a classic car around, so grew up around like a 62 Thunderbird. Now currently he's got a 59 British sports car, a little MG at the house. And so always been around cars. We used to go to little car shows and even boat shows, but that's not the same thing, but just trying to stay involved with it. And always love the smell of gasoline whenever I'm at the gas station.
Yeah. I make the joke with my buddies. If I could turn that into a cologne, I would. Nobody else would like it but me, but
you attract other car nuts.
Yeah, bro. They're like, what's that smell? But so that was Josh's introduction. He was just mentioning that he's been working in the auto industry for about 2.5 years. That's actually where we met, was at the same workplace. I've been working there for almost 3 years, so a little bit longer than Josh. I kind of helped train him, so that's how we got kind of close, is hanging out a lot and learning the workflow pretty much. But also my car love has extended to not just my dad, but also my grandfather. He, when he was growing up, he was a Chevy guy and, loved the 55 Bel Air, big block V8 coupe. And then when my dad was growing up, he was a Mopar guy. And then now I'm a Ford guy. So the cycle has come full circle. And so we'll see if it restarts with Chevy with my kids, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so my whole family, we shared a love of V8 cars, muscle cars. And that's kind of where I got started. And then working in the auto industry, I've expanded my car knowledge and love, so to speak, because you work with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so that's where our car knowledge and background comes from. Working with dealerships specifically, we both work for a independent third-party marketing vendor, and we deal with car dealerships all across the country from different makes, from Lexus to Nissan to Toyota to Ford and Chevy. So we kind of have a vast knowledge of all the different OEMs, which is why we love cars so much. So
very diverse.
Yeah, but I just wanted to give some personal stories of recent. So we'll start with Josh. At the beginning, he was kind of talking about how he got to drive a C63 AMG. So I kind of want you to give us some more detail about that. Tell us how you felt about the car, what you liked most about it, all that stuff.
Well, it was me and my fiance's 3-year anniversary, and came home, and I'd already scheduled us to be going to a dinner. I had reservations set up. And we're running a little late, pretty standard. We're going out into the parking garage of our apartment complex, and all of a sudden she's like, "Are you sure you don't want to drive?" And sure enough, she hits the key fob, and all of a sudden this Mercedes lights up, and I was blown away. If you haven't seen the video, it's pretty funny.
His face, he's just staring at it like didn't know what to say.
But that car was an absolute monster. And now Jacob already knows I'm aspiring to see when and what year I will be buying that car again, so I can have it for myself at any time I want.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then in very much Texas fashion, Josh came and picked me up the next morning, and we went to Whataburger. Are you my Uber? So that's what we did.
No way to do it.
WB Steakhouse.
Just get the grease off your hands before you touch the suede steering wheel, right?
Yeah, for real. Don't leave anything on there. We did not drive through. We went in, and like you said, we washed our hands before we left, and then put our hazmat suit back on to get into the car so we didn't mess anything up. But
and for everybody wondering, it was a rental.
Yeah,
you did not buy it for me. We're not that cool yet.
Not yet. But so that's Josh's car story recently. My car story isn't a rental. I actually convinced my financial manager / my wife to let me buy a weekend project car. And I went and bought a 1989 Fox Body Mustang GT. So that is my current project. We are trying to fix some things up on it. It has some cosmetics and some performance stuff that we got to fix. Speedometer doesn't work, so I got to fix a speedo cable on it. So that was fun driving that back to my house.
Like, how fast are you going? Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, I'm just seeing what everybody else is going. I'm like, just stay with the crowd. That's it. But no, it's a really fun car. It's a 5.0 liter V8 5-speed manual. So it's a fun little naturally aspirated car to drive around.
Right.
Being from 1989, it still has some scoot to it, so it's a little fun. But got to fix some stuff up before we can drive it around the road more frequently because it cannot right now. But yeah, so that is the conclusion of the first episode of the GCG podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in and listening, and like all of our social media pages, follow them. We're going to post updates on there when we're recording, when videos are coming out. Like we said earlier, we post articles on there, some useful stuff that everybody can probably take something away from. If you have some stuff you want us to cover, then shoot us an email. We have a GCG podcast email. It'll be in the description below. So if you have some stuff you want us to talk about, like, hey, I need some more information on this, or I want to learn more about this, then just let us know and we'll add it into the podcast.
Or even leave it in the comments section. We'll try and get to it and make sure we're keeping you guys' thoughts and interests first in mind.
Yep. Let us know how you feel about the first episode. We're pretty excited to see where the journey will take us. Without further ado, Jake and Josh signing off.